Hi, I'm Jake with Roasty Coffee, and today we're going to be talking about the Hamilton Beach FlexBrew coffee maker. This coffee maker's been around for a while. It's pretty popular, and with good reason, because it does some pretty cool stuff. First of all, it's dead simple to use, which I'll show you in just a minute, but it can also use Keurig pods or K-cups on one side, and then also make a full carafe or a full pot of coffee on the other side. So let's take a look at how this thing works and why people like it so much. All right, so the menu for using this thing is dead simple, which is pretty cool. Just has a few buttons. So we've got it turned on already. You've got a brew now button, which, surprise, surprise, will actually brew your coffee now, which is great. Then you've got a brew strength button here, so you can toggle between regular and bold. So you've got a couple of different options for, to kind of fit your flavor profile a little bit, or how strong you like your coffee. And then you can also program it. So if you want to set with the clock, obviously you can set ahead of time that you want it to kick on in the morning at a certain time. You can do that. And then basically you can just toggle back and forth between single and the full carafe side. So it actually is truly like a dual coffee maker in that this side has its own water reservoir here, and it's got sort of just its own filter basket that you can pull out, set in your own filter. You're gonna put your water right back in here, and it's got the shower head where this will make the full pot of coffee. And then on this side, it has its own water reservoir here that's gonna be for the single brew. So it's got a separate little thing on the side where you can measure up to 14 ounces of coffee is as large as this will go. So that's where it kind of maxes out. So that maybe is like a travel mug type size. So you would put the water in here, and then this opens up and it's got a K-cup dispenser in here already. So you can just pop that right in, close it, set this over to single brew, and hit brew now, and you're on your way to go. Okay, so it's pretty simple to use. Another thing that I do like about the single brew side is that if you don't want to use a Keurig pod, you can pull this out, and then it comes with a separate little attachment here where you can just open this up and put in your own ground coffee. And so you can just grind coffee yourself, or if you buy your coffee pre-ground, you can just drop it in here, and it's got a little line that shows you the max fill. It's already got a little mesh down there, so it is pre-filtered for you. You can close this back up, and then this fits right in there. And from there, it's just the same process. You close it, and then you brew your coffee. And so really, as the name suggests, it is pretty flexible. It can use pods, you can do a full pot, or you can also do a single cup by just using ground coffee as well. So it is pretty nice for what it does. So with all that said, let's go ahead and test it out. We're gonna brew using the full pot. I've got some freshly ground coffee, and so we'll see how this thing holds up and compares to some of the other drip coffee makers we've been using. All right, so my coffee's done brewing. I'm ready to try this thing out. So I did use the full pot setting. I did about 4 cups worth of coffee here. So I've been preparing this coffee using the same beans, grinding it the same way, using a variety of drip coffee makers today. So I'm gonna give it a try and see how it compares. That seemed really hot to me. It tastes pretty good, not bad. I've definitely had better. So using the same beans, I think we got better results with some of the more high-end machines. You certainly can notice the flavor profile just comes out differently. That's the only way I know how to describe that. But this is fine. Like if somebody served this will be fine. So in this price point, I would say that the FlexBrew is a solid coffee maker. It feels, it feels a little cheap to me. It's just a lot of plastic. It's very light. So as far as longevity and how that holds up, I couldn't say, to be honest. If you like the flexibility, like if you're a Keurig fan and you like the fact that this will do the pods, like the Keurig pods, then that's a big plus, obviously, where you can do the single cup that way. But if you're more often than not making it in a pot, so you're not using pods and you're just using ground coffee, in a similar price point, take a look at our video of the OXO 8 cup that we did. I think that feels like a much higher quality machine. I thought the coffee tasted better, again, using the same exact coffee that was fresh ground. And it also has a little insert in there where you can make a single cup. It's just not a Keurig pod thing. So if that's a big deal for you, the FlexBrew is fine. It's a good coffee maker for that. But again, if you're making more drip coffee, you're not really using the pod thing, then that's probably just a little gimmicky and you don't really need it. And there are gonna be better coffee makers, in my opinion, in this price range. So that's it for the FlexBrew. Pretty good machine overall. Made a decent cup of coffee. We like it. If you'd like, check out the link in the description below. You can learn more about it, read more reviews, people that have owned it for years, see what they're saying about it. Be sure to check that out, or check out some of our other videos where we've reviewed other drip coffee makers, all the way from the very low end up to the pretty high end, and see if maybe there's a better fit for you. But thanks for watching, we really appreciate it.